What are the jobs that you definitely have to get bonded for typically and where it's required?
Well, any municipality, state government, federal government, it's required by law that you get bonded. That's to protect taxpayers' money. And also, some owners will require you to provide a bond. And as a subcontractor, you might have a general contractor that wants you to bond back your work to them. So, in any situation where a bond is required, it's a great idea to know a little bit about it beforehand and also to be set up for bonding as a need come up. I have
Right.
contractors that bid stuff, every week, and contractors that need a bond once every 2 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I would imagine it's like most things, when you need it, if you haven't done it already, then you're kind of screwed because it's a process. You've got to really work through it to be able to get pre-approved. You can't just be like, okay, I've got to bid this job. We're trying to win it in the next week. Let's get bonded. It's probably not that simple, is it?
no, but that's our job
Right.
is to help you put that information together to get approved. And I used to be a bond underwriter, so it was my job. I was trained to decide whether to give you the bond or not.
Right.
So, so
Well, what
you
did you
could think of
decide
it
on?
as getting a mortgage, maybe, but it's
Sure.
not that difficult.
Okay.
I've gotten mortgages, and I always thought bonding was easier to get than mortgages for sure.
Yeah.
But
Well, what does it take? Like if we're going through that pre-approval process, me and Martin are starting our construction company. No one's going to accept our bid, but we need to be bonded to be able to put the bid in. What do we need to do? What's the process?
well, first of all, reach out to a good bonding agent, and if you have a construction professional team in place, lawyer, accountant, C, construction oriented CPA preferably, they'll know the best bonding agents in town. McDaniel Whitley, we work all over the country. So you could reach out to me if you want. But I'm happy to talk with you through the process. Did you know there's credit scoring bonds where all they basically do is want to know about your experience and they run a credit report on you and they can approve bonds up to $1 million that way.
Wow.
So there's that part of the business, but that's not the answer for most contractors that bid work because the rates are higher and you're limited. You can only do one of these type of bonds at a time because you've maxed out your capacity. So what we want to do is work with you where you're getting every surety company or bonding company wants your business and are fighting for it. Then you get the best rates, the best terms, and the best options. And you attract the best surety companies. Folks, these surety companies have credible wealth of information. They have the best lawyers. They have the best data on what causes bond claims. They have the best information about how to keep you out of bond claim and how to support you when a bogus claim comes up against your bond. So, again, that's the goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But are you willing, are good bonding agents willing to work with somebody, let's say for a year, who's exploring and you say, you're not ready to be bonded yet. We need to fix these things. Doesn't mean that you're putting in 40 hours a week working for somebody, but you're advising them so that they can grow to the point, have the systems and processes that make them attracted to bonding.
Absolutely. That's what we do all day. And I only get paid. First of all, we don't charge for bid bonds. But if you're the low bidder and you need a performance and payment bond, we get a commission of that bond premium. So that's how we get paid. So if we don't get you approved, we don't get paid. So I don't. I think you're getting a lot of value
Sure.
that way.
Let me ask one quick definition. Bid bond, we've said a lot. What's a bid bond?
All right, bid bond is what you're required to turn in with your bid on a job that requires a bond. So the whole list of things you have to turn in with your bond your checklist of items, unit bid prices, all the forms and affidavits about fairness and every other thing required in that contract. You also have to put in a bid bond form. And the bid bond is 5% usually of the contract amount. On federal jobs, it's 20% of whatever your contract amount is. And it guarantees that if you're low bidder and they don't award the job because you pull out of it, that they can recoup their cost of up to 5 to 10% of your bid to rebid it.
Okay.
So you say, well, how often does that happen? And I can tell you never. Never. Because state laws let you pull out of a bid if you made a material miscalculation. So that's one thing. But the whole key is the bid bonds guarantee that if you're low bidder, that we will provide for you the performance and payment bonds.
Okay.
Didn't used to be that way, but it is now. So that's why we have to get you pre-approved, as if you're going to start the job and you're going to be awarded it at the time you bid the job.
Yeah. So it's a method of authenticating your bid. I mean, not strictly speaking, but it's saying, yeah,
Right.
these are real people and we can do this.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that'll bid a job and require a bid bond and not a performance and payment bond. They just want to know if you can qualify.
Right.
We're really happy about those requests, as you can imagine, because we don't get paid. But
Yeah.
But you don't
nevertheless,
charge for bid bonds.
yeah, no charge for bid bonds.
Okay.
Wow. So,
So what, go ahead, Cliff.
no, go ahead, Martin.
Well, what, kind of getting into the weeds a little bit, what qualifies a contractor as being, what are the key attributes that qualify a contractor as being bondable? In other
Well,
words,
there's-
we were talking before, if I come in and my books are an Excel spreadsheet and I do the bidding and I also put up the forms on a concrete job, probably not inspire a bunch of confidence in the bonding company.
Well, what inspires confidence in the bonding company is really simple. They call them the 3 C's: cash, character, and capacity. And you cash flow the project until you get paid. Do you have the capacity to do the type of work that you want to bid? And do you have character? Do you do what you say you're going to do? And all 3 of those are measured by the bond underwriter that makes the decision. Now, on credit scoring bonds, it's a little easier. It's designed to help a new contractor get their first bonds. It's not, like I said, a long-term solution, but if you just need a bond every now and then, we can do credit scoring. So they just look at your capacity and your credit score. To them, that tells them all they want to know about your character.
As somebody who used to be the one who approved bonds or not, what did you look at to determine if they had the cash?
Working capital and net worth.
Okay, so that implies you need to have good books, right?
Yeah, current assets minus current liabilities. Anything you can do to prop up that working capital helps you get bonds. Also, a net worth in the company. Now, a lot of contractors, guys that don't do a lot of bonding, are used to taking all the money out of their company every year. And that's something that's a mindset that we kind of have to reset a little bit if you're in the bonding arena. Because think, what would a bond company, why would they want to guarantee that you're going to finish a project and pay all your bills? And there's no liens on the project. You pay all your subcontractor and it's done exactly according to the contract. Why would anyone in their right mind want to do that? It's because they have faith in your ability to do it over and over and over again. Sometimes a job's a stretch. It's more technical than you're used to doing. And we got to do a little bit of work to sell that to the bond underwriter. Why is this a good fit? Another trigger to bond underwriters that concerns them is when you're going into a new territory.
Why is that?
Meaning geographical territory.
Geographical
like going from Memphis
territory.
to work in Atlanta, right?
And why is that?
Well, it's because you're not operating in a territory where all your support is there. You know, everybody you know, your friends, your other subs, the legal environment of that territory. Is it union or non-union? What about the soil in that territory? What about the things that you didn't understand about working in that territory, the laws? All of that could cause you to have a loss on a job, which could trigger you going out of business, which would trigger a bond claim or multiple bond claims.